So my currency at age 10, as a 10-year-old boy, wasn't clothes. It wasn't girls yet. For a 10-year-old boy, it was how fast can you run? That was a major currency. And on my Catholic school playground, in the minds of other 10-year-olds, there were legends created on that field playing freeze tag. The next currency around age 12 was a bicycle. And you did not want to have a Huffy. No matter what, you didn't want to have Huffy on the side of your bike. Even if you were from a poor area, you didn't want that. But the truth is, it wasn't really about the bike. At 12, it meant you had freedom. You could go long distances, miles. We'd be gone for hours, and my parents had no idea. You couldn't do it when you're 10. You didn't have enough courage. But when you're 12, you could go a lot further and come back. We'd go downtown to a store or go see a bridge or something and come back several hours later. Today, kids don't seem to ride bikes. It bums me out. It proves that I'm becoming an old man too. But I guess it doesn't need to be sad because I could encourage my daughters to ride. They're only 7 and 8, so I can't really encourage them to go on long distances yet. But I'm not sure if when they're 12, if they'll feel like doing that. They'll probably go way farther. If they do, they'll go way farther than they tell us, but maybe they won't. I live in an average middle-class neighborhood in Rochester, and I never see kids riding around on their bikes. But I should encourage them because it's empowering. Riding miles away to visit a store or see a bridge, it's empowering. And at age 12, you might not think you can do anything in life, but you know you can do a lot. At age 14, the currency was getting a job, actual money. I worked at Nye's Polonaise Bar and Restaurant in Minneapolis for the federal minimum wage of $4.25 an hour plus tips. I was a busboy. I made au gratin potatoes, cleared tables and emptied bus pans, and delivered beer to bartenders at the 3 bars that they had. Nye's had the world's smallest dance floor. You could maybe fit 12 people on that thing comfortably. And it was right next to a bathroom, the worst bathroom placement ever. At 14, I was young enough to know that the college girls were too old for me, but old enough to know that they were very interesting. I might earn $22 in tips on a good night. I'd get cut about midnight. My dad would pick me up in his pickup truck. We go to Super America and get 2 VHS tape rentals and all the candy I could buy, Butterfingers, Necco wafers, circus peanuts. At 16, the most important currency to date came, which everybody knows, was being a licensed driver. I saved enough money, enough busboy money to buy a $1,200 1972 Buick Skylark with a 350 engine and no tape deck. It could move. I passed my permit test at 15 on the second try, passed my license test on the first try on my 16th birthday. My own car freed me to see a whole new world. But I wonder if I was 16 today, if I would even care about getting a license. My friends share stories about their kids and how their kids don't even care and don't want to get a license. I'm glad, it makes me sad for them. I'm glad I grew up when I did and I didn't spend time watching my phone to watch other people's adventures. I got to get in my car and go have my own adventures. Another currency at 16 was sports. This was big. Basketball was my first love in life. My friends and I would go to the YMCA, any YMCA in the Twin Cities. We'd go out there at 10 in the morning or 11, and we'd be there for 4 or 5 hours. As long as they were playing, we were there. We'd play with strangers for hours. It's one of the most fun things I did in my youth. This next story would have hit home maybe with Jerome and maybe with nobody else in this audience. The Minnetonka YMCA in 1991 was very Caucasian. There was probably 2 black people that went to this YMCA that I remember. And there was one guy named Gene who played basketball. He was older. He was in his 50s at a time, and he was playing against people that were half of his age. But he was big. He was like 6'3", big, towering guy, and athletic. Once, while he was checking the ball in, this man had said something Gene didn't like, and Gene just punched him in the face in the middle of a basketball game, just punched him in the face, and the guy didn't do anything. And he handed him the ball. He was frustrated, obviously, but he handed him the ball, and they just went on and played. I couldn't figure it out. Everybody respected Gene in a way, and I didn't fully understand it. Years later, recently, I saw a documentary and found out that Gene is Gene Washington, who is a former famous Minnesota Viking football player, a wide receiver.
Yes.
Okay, we got somebody. Tim knows. Maybe that's why he didn't punch him back. You don't punch former Vikings. The next currency at 16 was maybe grades. I never really subscribed to that one. But I knew college was important. So at 18, a currency might be how well you can connect and meet girls. I was never great, but okay. If I had a couple beers in me, I could do okay one-on-one. Another currency was which college you attended. I didn't have much currency there. I went to the one school that accepted me, Bemidji State University. Yeah. College grades were a currency, I guess. I did okay, but my freshman year, most of us acted like college was a currency to spend. We spent 3 nights drinking beer every week in unfinished basements with concrete floors and low ceilings, just dismal basements. We'd pay $3 for a cup and go into a house party that a senior was putting on. We were too young to go to the bars. We couldn't do anything else. By beer number 2, it didn't matter. Everybody was enjoying themselves, even if they were sitting on top of the washing machine. By age 24, your first job is your currency. I stumbled a bit after college, and despite studying journalism with a focus in advertising, where one could theoretically make good money, despite 3 attempts, I never worked in advertising. I decided to take a job in journalism, where I probably cemented being poor for the rest of my life. But at age 29, while earning $12.50 an hour, I had real currency. I believed in the mission of journalism, my role in society, finding contacts, sharing insights, learning things, talking to mayors, senators, governors. I felt rich, even though I was eating ramen noodles at night. What have the currencies of your life been? And if you could go back and live 1 week over again, which week would it be?